Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about false cognates, meaning false friends between Portuguese and Spanish. Let's get started. Alright, what is a false friend? Basically, a false friend between two languages is when a word sounds and looks very similar, so you think it has the same meaning, but it has a totally different meaning. And when you learn languages that are very similar, you notice a lot of false friends. So that's what happened to me too between Spanish and Portuguese. So I'm going to show you which words are false friends. In this video I'm going to name 10 false friends of Spanish and mainly Brazilian Portuguese because that's what I learned. The first word is apellido and apellido. Apellido and apellido. Apellido in French. What am I talking about? Apellido in Spanish and apellido in Portuguese. So apellido in Spanish means last name. Last name in Portuguese means sobrenome. So apellido in Portuguese basically means nickname. So you would guess that it means the same thing because it's written similarly and also pronounced in a similar way, but it has a different meaning. So apellido in Portuguese would be nickname other than in Spanish, which is last name. Alright, next word is voila. This word in Spanish you would pronounce as rato, like un rato, like vamos a ver, vamos a esperar un rato. It's like we're gonna wait like a while, a little bit. It's like a short period of time, un rato, rato. But then when you see it written in Portuguese, like it's pronounced differently in Brazilian Portuguese, it's pronounced rato, but it means rat. So it's a complete different meaning. So when you would say something like, okay, we're gonna wait for a little bit, for a little while, and you would say that in Brazil, it's a completely different meaning. So keep that in mind. Whenever I speak Portuguese, I use Spanish as a base because obviously that's the language I learned before Portuguese. For the most part, it's so similar, so you can rely on it kind of like to kind of know what words mean. But then for the other part, it's like also too similar. Sometimes you confuse things because you take things for granted. You think, oh, I know that meaning because in Spanish it means this, but then in Portuguese it means a whole complete different thing. This word is another one that I confuse like all the freaking time. It's pronto. Like okay, let's say we'll see each other soon, and I'll say in Spanish I would say nos vemos pronto, like nos vemos pronto. Pronto is like soon, but in Portuguese, pronto means ready. So for example, in Portuguese, you would ask like, já está pronto? It's like, are you ready? So another meaning. If you want to say in Portuguese, we'll see each other soon, that would be em breve. Em breve. It's like, nos vemos em breve. And that happens to me like all the freaking time. I say like, nos vemos pronto. And then they're like, no, nos vemos en breve. That's another false friend right there. Another word which frequently occurs amongst the false friends between Portuguese and Spanish is embarazada. Una mujer embarazada would mean a pregnant woman in Spanish. So embarazada means pregnant. But then embarazada, estoy embarazada in Portuguese would mean I'm embarrassed. So completely different meanings. If you say estoy embarazada in Spanish, that means I'm pregnant. But if you say that same thing, estoy embarazada, in Portuguese it means I'm embarrassed. Okay, so keep that in mind to spare you a weird situation. Alright, talking about weird, let's get to the next word, which is esquisito. In Portuguese means weird, but then esquisito in Spanish means like in a sense of excellent, like something good, like exquisito, it's like good. Then but isso é muito esquisito. É muito esquisito in Portuguese means it's very weird, like it's strange. So it's not something positive, but it's the opposite. It's actually negative. Contrary to Spanish, where it's something good, excellent. Another word is pelado. Pelado in Portuguese means bald, but pelado in Spanish means naked. And the last word is also another one which I confused for a long time, which is cadera. Cadera in Spanish means hips. Mueve la cadera. So it's like move your hips. But then cadeira, well, or cadeira in Portuguese means chair. So completely different thing too. So for the next time, if you speak Spanish or Portuguese, keep those false friends in your mind and you will learn it eventually. That's what I did too. It takes time because it's really confusing. I mean, that's why sometimes it's even harder to learn languages which are very similar, because you would think that it's easier, but then it's also kind of more difficult because there's so much similarities that you would assume certain things have the same meaning, but they don't actually. So that's why you really need to be careful about those false friends. And thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this video helps though, and give me more suggestions if you have like any other questions between the differences of Portuguese and Spanish. Just let me know in the comment box below, and don't forget to follow me, Miss Urban Eve, on Instagram, and I'll see you guys